Hey Hodies, welcome to my channel. My name is Hautemess Tom and thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be doing a critical sass. If you are new to my channel, I run my channel on a few ethos, and one of them is to be critical of new makeup releases, to unravel the mystery, unpack the marketing, and just really see the items for what they are, and just to really decipher whether or not they should be worth our money or not. So if that kind of content sounds good to you, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like this video before you leave it. And I'm also on Patreon if you would like to support me there. Finally, I am nominated for 3 categories in City Paper's Best of Pittsburgh. So that is all linked down below. So if you could vote for me for Best YouTube Account, Best Thirst Trap, and Best Lifestyle Influencer, I would really appreciate it. I also will have all the details about what's on my face down below if you are interested in that. What Critical Sass is, you know, we are looking at new makeup releases from Trend Mood 1 and Makeup Release Radar, and, you know, just kind of going through the accounts. I do this every other week normally. I do reserve the last Wednesday of every month to be a live version. So Wednesday, August 31st, I'll be doing Critical Sass live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I would love to have you there. Critical Sass live is a really good time. The chat heats up. We all sassy. It is really, really great. And if you want to be proactive, you can follow me on Instagram. I post it about there regularly too, but also, I will link the Critical Sass that's live next, so you can add a reminder on YouTube if you'd like. Okay, let me open up Trend Mood, and I'm going to start with the newest stuff and then go back until I've hit what I last talked about. Sephora collection is releasing their new Best Skin Ever concealer. It's a creamy liquid concealer that was made to do it all. Full coverage, natural finish, 50 shades, matches the Best Skin Ever foundation shades, weightless, longwear, transfer resistant, non-caking, non-creasing, non-drying, anti-pollution, 12-hour hydration, has skin-loving ingredients enriched with algae extract and hyaluronic acid, a vegan formula for $15. I used to work at Sephora. If you didn't know, now you know. And Sephora collection stuff, I feel like, has a weird rep on YouTube and kind of like in the beauty community at large, but like a lot of it's pretty nice. And like anytime I was working with it on clients, I didn't own a lot of it myself, but like their brow products are pretty good. They like just their stuff is like pretty basic stuff, and it's like not drugstore. I would say like some of the formulas are more elegant than drugstore formulas, and like the cost isn't like too excessive. Like $15 for concealer is like not the worst. In fact, drugstore is now like getting up there and like hitting that amount too sometimes. So that's all I'll say about that. 50 shades, we love to see it. We love an extensive shade range. And I do believe that Sephora collection is also clean at Sephora. Like they are making the Sephora collection a clean brand. So that's like a really accessible way to get clean beauty if you use clean at Sephora as your guide for clean beauty, because, you know, everyone's going to view clean beauty just a little bit differently. And what I like about that, I might have to retract all of this, and I will. I'll put it up here if I like am incorrect. If it is clean, it's like Sephora collection isn't like bumping up their prices just because they are making clean, what they consider to be a clean formula. So I'm all about this. I'm for that. Okay, first and foremost, my skin looks really good today. I'm sorry, not first and foremost at all, but like I just caught myself in the monitor. I'm testing some new stuff, so very impressed so far. So I love to see that. Anyway, this is like a really nice release. I probably won't be buying it. The other thing is like, I think I'm going to be doing a declutter video pretty shortly here on my channel. So I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by my collection a little bit. And I know I have a larger makeup collection, but like recently I've been feeling like overwhelmed by it. Melt is releasing the Ultra Matte Bronzers. Buildable Ultra Matte powder formula blends like a cream, effortlessly melts into your skin, no patchiness or harsh lines. Get instant smooth sunless warmth with 4 shades. There's like a light, medium, tan, and dark. They have more fun names than that, but for the sake of brevity, I will just be using those. And now I could have just named all of them based on like giving that explanation. Here's the thing with this. I don't want anything that I put on my face at this point in my makeup journey to be considered ultra matte. Ultra matte is not where it's at for me. Like look at this skin. Look at the skin. I come very clearly not an ultra matte human. That's just not what I want. I think that matte like takes things out. And I understand that like I do like some of my products to be matte, but not ultra matte. Like I like mattifying, but I don't like lifeless. So when I hear ultra matte, to me that feels corpse. but it's a bronzer, so it should be bringing life back to your face. Also kind of equate like matte formulas to be patchy sometimes when it comes to like face products, but none of this is interesting to me. Melt is a brand that I like have curiosities about. All I've ever tried for them has been an eyeshadow palette, which was nice, but like not my favorite thing. Like didn't love it. And so it's just like, I don't feel compelled to try other things from Melt because I've heard their lipsticks are like pretty uncomfortable, and it's like just like not the journey I'm willing to take. You know, I lived in 2016. Quick aside about TikTok. TikTok is really doing like 2016, 2017 like makeup trends, which is like great, good. Enjoy yourselves, love it. But like, you're not going to catch me putting on a matte liquid lipstick again, a long lasting, all like it. And I'm sure formulas have come a long way, and I'm sure they are more comfortable than what I remember. But it's just like when you are getting promised longevity, you are losing something else in its stead. And normally that is like comfort. Anyway, so this is a no for me. This is a miss for me, but the compact is really pretty. I'm exhausted by saying this. And the reason we're exhausted by saying it is because makeup brands aren't delivering on it. But like, is this the most extensive bronzer shade range? No. Could Melt have done better? Absolutely. And I think what's annoying is that like Melt does a really good job in their eyeshadow palettes making like really, really, really deep shades that are really, really effective and perform pretty well. So why aren't we making bronzers that are really, really deep and perform really well? Also, let me take a look at the latest one. Because, you know, if there's a problem with it, I'm going to find it. So if I were to try this, I wouldn't even get the latest shade. The Santa Barbara shade looks like it would show up orange on me, and the medium shade looks much more neutral. And I would just use a lighter hand with the medium shade as opposed to buying the lightest shade. I do think that much like foundations, when bronzer ranges come out, it's like they don't get the light one right and they don't get the deep one right. Because what happens, like a lot of people who have fairer skin, especially people with like cooler or like neutral leaning skin, we put something that has warmth and like has those like red and yellow tones on it, and like that's all you see. That brown kind of like disappears, and it's just like I have just like orange on my face. So yeah, I don't know. I think we could have done better. Here's if I were to be on the market for a bronzer, I would potentially try. So Merit has released the Bronze Balm Sheer Sculpting Bronzer, and a lot of those words appeal to me. A lot of them. First and foremost, look at the packaging. Look at it. And having used some Merit items before, I'm sure it feels like appropriately, like not super weighted. Merit's products aren't like super weighted, but they feel like an appropriate weight. And it just like looks pretty luxurious, although you know your fingerprints are going to get all over this packaging the first time you use it, and it's never going to look that good again. Merit's products, from my personal experience, have been pretty good. I liked the blush, but I did actually declutter the blush that I had from them, but I love their complexion stick, which they just upped the size of. Seems like Merit's on the prowl, on the move, making shifts, doing something, expanding the range. I don't know what we're going to see from Merit next, but this is an exciting release. I will also comment that they did probably not go extensive enough with their bronzer range. They do have 5 shades. And just like with the Melt makeup one, I would probably go with the second shade, which is the clay shade, which is for light skin. It looks more neutral than the Quince or Quince. I don't know why I decided to go Quince, but I did. I sure did. It's $30. Yeah, this is something that I could see myself buying, but it's not something that I would buy right now. In fact, like in my, like, you know, when you're prepping to declutter, if like it's in your mindset that you are like going to be decluttering things shortly, you're just thinking about like almost no newness. And I have a cream bronzer that I really, really love, and it is the like Le Beige Healthy Glow bronzer. And I just don't think I need another cream bronzer at this juncture. But like I could see myself in a year from now, when I've mostly used up or completely used up the Le Beige, which I probably won't. It'll probably be like halfway done by that point. I could see myself potentially buying something, like buying this particular thing. That's where I'm standing on that. Besame is releasing the classic eyeshadow duos, split pan eyeshadow duo with shades that are based on cosmetic colors that date back more than 100 years. There's a matte and a shimmer, $24. This looks like an eyeshadow sample, and Besame is not cheap. $24 is like on the cheaper side for Besame, but for a brand that is like known for like charging a pretty penny for simply compacts full of powder, like $100 compacts full of powder, how is this where we landed with the packaging on these eyeshadows? It looks really, really cheap, and I'm not into it. I don't think they did a very good job. Summer Fridays is releasing a sheer skin tint with hyaluronic acid and squalane. A lightweight skin tint that layers beautifully for sheer to light coverage with natural looking finish. Helps diminish the look of redness, pores, and uneven skin tone in 10 flexible shades, $42. They will be available on August 16th on their website and at Sephora. Summer Fridays, I don't get it. Like, I don't get the brand. Just like period. I don't know what they're after. They're just a beautiful disaster. If you get it, you get it. The girls who get it, the girls who girl. The girls who don't. What was even that saying? The girls who get it though. They will know. Comment down below. Comment down below if you caught the reference. I got the when I used to work at Sephora, I got the jet lag in, which is like their first product. That was like the thing that put them on the map. The jet lag mask. Was it a mask? Well, first and foremost, I don't feel like it was moisturizing at all. So I don't really trust the brand. And then also the jet lag got like recalled. And like, I understand that recalls happen to all brands because like, you know, I'm a firm supporter of Jif peanut butter and that gets recalled like maybe once a year. Something about it just like really sets me off. And it's just like, I don't need a $42 skin tint. Not from them. I don't get what they're trying to do. I don't think that their formulas, from what I've tried, even like the testers, if I like, you know, because like Summer Fridays when I worked at Sephora was like coming up. A lot of people asked for it. They wanted like the lip balm. Like there was like a whole thing, you know, like I just remember people really wanting and being interested in Summer Fridays. And I just remember feeling the formulas, also experiencing the mask and thinking that this isn't really it. And the mask isn't really a mask. It's like just a really thick moisturizer. They say like you could rinse off if you want to, or you just leave it on your face. And to me, that's like that does not a mask make. I want a mask with like really, really intense actives, like actives so intense that I need to like rinse them off or like wash them off whenever I'm done. Which means, honestly, I just really would only mask if it involves exfoliation. So this skin tint is like fine, but I always find it's giving me flashbacks to the Kosas skin tint, which was like really yellow and I couldn't find my shade in it, and it just like made my skin look really oily. And like, while I do appreciate a dewier skin finish than I did when I first tried the Kosas skin tint, I still don't think I would like that product. I don't like looking like wet, and I felt like I looked just like wet. That has nothing to do with the skin tint. It's fine. I mean, try it if you want, but I don't think you should. So here's something I'm a little bit more interested in, or maybe have a little bit more investment in. Dr. Jart is releasing the premium BB tinted moisturizer with niacinamide with SPF 40 from Dr. Jart. It comes in 4 shades. It has buildable coverage in 4 flexible shades. So I always have issues with like flexible shade ranges, and from experience having a Dr. Jart BB cream myself, not this one, but one of their older formulations. And I don't know if this product is replacing the thing that I actually have in my collection right now, because I do feel like every time I've tried to link the other one, it does seem to be like really out of stock most of the time, and it only came in 2 shades. So perhaps this is like, we have now 4 shades, and also niacinamide is like, seems to be the keyword that they seem to be interested in. The coverage on the one that I have, at least, is like full coverage. It's full coverage. And I will say like it adapts enough where it doesn't seem bad, but like also I have light skin. And so that's like very different for me to say that than someone with like a really deep complexion putting on something and just like hoping that it might shift to their shade. And it's like also like I can throw on bronzer and like really work it into my skin, but like I don't think someone with deeper complexion is going to like want to fuss with all of that. Honestly, like I wouldn't. And so I just don't know about this. However, if one of these shades works for you, and if you like go try it, I could see this being really good. Because I actually really like, someone that I used to work with at Sephora used like Dr. Jart's BB cream, the one that I have, as their primer whenever they would work on clients. And mine is the Dissapore. Is this the Dissapore? Did I say Dissapore? I have no idea. No, this isn't the Dissapore. So maybe this wouldn't work as well, because the Dr. Jart Dissapore like is a pore filling product, and she would use that as a primer. So I don't know if this would work as well for that. But anyway, I could see this being nice if you're interested in this type of thing. But also, you know, it's $44, which is even more than the Summer Fridays one, which has a more extensive shade range. You know, follow your heart on this. I don't know that this is necessarily a good release, but it is a release that like I have one eye on. About Face Beauty is releasing 10 shades of a blush balm, an ultra creamy lightweight formula, and they are coming out. Oh, 10 shades. I hate this packaging. I hate the way this looks. About Face is definitely probably trying to sell to a market that I am not in. I would say probably like a younger audience, maybe like 18 to 25, but maybe like 15 to 20. It's skewing young. So, and sometimes something that looks for like marketed to young people will like feel very like retro and feel like something that I can like really get my life on and like feel good about buying, but I'm not getting that with this. So I don't like the packaging of it, like this like three-dimensional like bulbous thing. It's like not my favorite, but I'm starting to feel like a little bit like Hannah is like, these look like shades, they're not really nuanced except for perhaps this purple shade, which is like a little bit different, but like, you know, a lot of brands have been doing lavender, but like berry tones, oranges, corals, and a purple. And it's just like, we could be like making blushes that aren't the same 3 shades. I'm not asking for like a green blush, but like you could make potentially a brown blush with like green undertones in it, and that would be something interesting, just something different. I don't know, this isn't doing it for me. Like I wouldn't buy this. Like if I saw this on the shelf, I'd be like, that's supposed to be $5 and I'm not interested in it. It's not for me. Based on my makeup friends on Instagram, a lot of people seem pretty excited about this, but for me personally, like this could miss me altogether. The packaging when it's closed, the compact when it's closed is kind of cute. I don't like it when it's open. And I think that this is something that if I happened to have gotten it, even if the formula was really nice, it'd be something that I would like not reach for just because I feel some kind of way about it. It's not like a miss. You know, if they're rounding out their range, they needed blushes. This is how they chose to do their blush. That makes sense for them. They look colorful and bright, and that's kind of the vibe I get from About Face Beauty. I do want to try their eye paints. That's like the one thing from them that I do have an eye paint on. Sometimes I hate myself. Fenty's releasing the Eavesdrop Lit All Over Aglow Enhancer. Wear alone or mix with foundation for skin loving glow. 4 shades for $34 each. I don't know why it took this long, but it does seem like everyone's trying to market or come up with their own version of the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, or like something like that, or like the Cover FX custom enhancer drops, like the really shiny ones. I don't know, it just seems like this year, like, and also at the end of summer, which is a choice to be launching these. Like August seems late. You should have launched these in May or June. August feels too late because we're gonna start, I'm interested in fall. Can you tell I'm interested in like fall colors right now? Can you tell I look like an autumn tree with leaves ready to fall off of it? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at metaphysically. I'm not quite there physically, but it was cool. Like it was like 50 degrees overnight. It opened the windows. It was great. I think Fenty kind of lost me by putting it in packaging similar to the Eavesdrop foundation, which I hated. I thought it made my skin look terrible. I didn't like it. So it's like in that packaging. I don't know if it's a little bit bigger or if it's exactly the same, other than having like a silver top instead of having like a matte white cap. But there's also no swatches as I am looking at Trend Mood. Perhaps I will find swatches of it elsewhere when I'm editing or whatever, and I could update you then. But like, I'm gonna do a video on this actually. Fenty has obviously sparked my memory and sparked this idea, but I'm gonna do like a 2-part series, like makeup brands I haven't tried but really want to, and then makeup brands I have tried and used to like but I have fallen off of. And I feel that way about Fenty, especially this summer with the releases that they're doing. But no, you know what? It started last year when they did that bronzer palette. I was like, what are we doing here? Fenty set themselves up for like a tricky journey based on the way they launched. So they launched with, I forget how many they launched with. Was it 50 or 40 foundation shades, which is like way more than everyone else at the time. They've launched themselves as this shade inclusive brand on both ends, both deep and light. And so all of their launches, rightfully so, up into a point, were hitting the mark on like offering inclusivity in the shade ranges that they are doing. But slowly but surely, they have pulled back on that. And I'm not sure if it's because they realized how expensive it was to continue to release such inclusive shade ranges or not. But like, to me, it's just like 4 shades is just like, okay, like probably would work, right? And especially they're probably like thin, whatever, you can thin them out. But what we have found out is even with products like this, that the shade ranges don't always work for everyone. It happened with the Auric Glow Lust. They had to add a lighter shade because the lightest shade wasn't working for a lot of people with really light skin tones. I don't really know. I just know that because I know that I watch Hannah Louise Poston, who like kind of complained about that, and then like it happened, and I don't think it was like a direct result of Hannah complaining. It must have been something that enough of the people who bought the original lightest shade complained about, that they were like, well, we need to add a shade. So it's not like these are all universal, and so I just don't understand. And earlier this summer, they released 2 shimmery bronzers, 2 shades, Fenty. I don't know. And also they were like trying to do innovative things for a while, and it feels like they don't want to do innovative stuff anymore. It's just like kind of upsetting to me, honestly. And I also think that some of their stuff could reuse or reformulation. Sell out the stock and reformulate. I think that about the original foundation was good, but I do think like there are now other soft matte formulas that work better, and I never really liked their hydrating formula. I think that needs to be reworked. I think that the skin tint needs reworked. I do think that, and they just released more matchsticks, or like I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on. It's sad to me. But I wouldn't buy these based on my lovely subscribers and my lovely commenters. If I was going to try one of these things, which I haven't tried one in a really long time, not since the Cover FX drops were like the thing, I would try the Lisa Eldridge one. In fact, I want to try some things from Lisa Eldridge. Perhaps I'll save my money and do like a Lisa Eldridge review. Right, guys, buckle in. It's holiday. We're getting into holiday season, which is absurd. It just feels like earlier and earlier every year. Earlier and earlier. So NARS has already like sneak peeked. I don't know if out yet to buy, but NARS released their holiday 2022 collection. And there's an eyeshadow palette, a cheek palette, and like a mini setting powder. It's interesting. I really want to be interested in NARS because it seems like a lot of my peers really like view NARS as like this reliable formula fallback, but I just can't get into this. Not berries, not neutrals and berries. I would even want something more neutral than this if I was going to be purchasing a NARS eyeshadow, but this isn't going to be the release for me. I have really strong opinions on blush palettes, and especially like face palettes that get released every year. Like, you know, every year that NARS is going to release a face palette. There are 6 shades in there, and they're supposed to be a range enough to hit all skin tones. However, I have one skin tone. I have one skin tone myself, and I assume that you do as well. I will never, ever use all 6 of these. I would never be able to use all 6 of them on my skin and like get away with it. But not even that. My preference is I won't like all of them. Even if I could wear all of them, I wouldn't like all of them. And why aren't they just release 6 beautiful single, I mean, I know there's a highlighter in there, but like one highlighter, but you're trying to sell blush to all skin tones. It's like that highlighter is not going to work on every skin tone. What's probably going to work best on is like a medium skin tone, and people with very fair skin and very deep skin are not going to be able to use it. That's what happens like every time. I'm over face palettes. If you're not going to release multiple face palettes for different depths of tone for skin, I'm not interested. I'm also just like generally not interested in a face palette. Very rarely do I want to use a face palette all the way through. Even if it was like for my skin tone, all of the shades in it, like I'm not going to want to use it all. And also I mostly pull out single compacts when I'm reaching for blush and highlight and bronzer and contour. I will forget about it, and I will just continue reaching for my singles, because then I get to manipulate things how I want. I'm not going to open a face palette to just use one thing in the face palette. That's just not how I operate. And I don't know that a lot of people's brains operate that way. However, they release these face palettes every year. They make limited edition packaging. They make the packaging very alluring. And so there are people who just every year, like out of tradition, will just buy the new NARS face palette. People do it with the Hourglass one too. So it's not like a NARS specific problem. But whenever we're talking about being critical, remember that. Like if you bought the one from last year from NARS, have you used it up? Have you hit pan in any of them? Is that, and like, it's one thing if that's like your only source of blush and highlight. That makes a lot more sense to me. But like, as someone who has a pretty vast makeup collection, this is going to get lost in the sauce, no problem. And the last thing I need is like a collection from every year of blush palettes that I don't use, just sitting there and taking up space, and like just no one's using them. It's not it for me. So NARS can really miss me with the blush palette as well. Tinted is releasing the Huebeam Blushing Bronzo. I said bronzo and didn't even catch it. Bronzo? Whatever. I'm so tired of me. Duo. 1 blush, 2 bronzers, presented in a beautiful gradient finish. This palette, they're calling this a palette. Look at it. This palette allows for the creation of customized looks from light flesh to full compact color. Lightweight, pigmented, buildable, blendable, clean, vegan formula. You say, lightweight, pigmented, buildable. I would rather just say like buildable. Don't say pigmented and then also buildable. $38. Is this it? Is this the one? I'm going to say this. It's very visually appealing. Like I like looking at this. The gradient, I love a gradient. Beautopsy got me, which also Beautopsy is a beautiful product. The Beautopsy palette from Hindash. So I'm not besmirching it, but I'm just saying the gradient got me, gal. So the gradient, I think it's really, really beautiful. And I'm sure if I swirled a brush in there and put it on my cheek, I would think it's very beautiful. But this isn't a palette. I don't know how big the compact is, but I'm going to guess that if I put a blush or a cheek brush in there at all, it's going to be really hard to single out the shades. So saying that it's customizable, I feel like you're lying to me. I really feel like you're lying to me. I don't think that's true. And one shade, like one compact, this is the one. Honey, sweetie, you could have at least released 3. You could have at least tried. This is going to be the color that it is on your cheek. You're never going to be able to just use the bronzer if that's what you desire. I don't get it. In my head, you're going to get a Blonzer effect from like the Bare Minerals Blonzer, which is a beautiful product. And I really like the finish of that. And I think it's really great. So if this like looks like a Blonzer on the cheek, I could see myself really liking it. But like there are also different shades of the Blonzer because there's different depths of skin tone. And I just don't know how we keep forgetting. Like I don't understand. I don't get it. Like I don't understand this product. If someone would like to explain it to me on people with very, very, very fair skin, probably won't get away with it. And people with very deep skin, I don't get it. It's really pretty. But it's not practical. Clionadh added some shades, and when I say some, it's many. I think it's like 54 shades to the stained glass collection. Someone, I forget who, I will, if I can find the tag, someone tagged me and also Hannah there's like some grungy, earthy shades, and I am actually keen on that. I don't have it in my budget right now to buy some Clionadh shades. I do think with my budget, I'm actually just going to save September, October, and November to then do some Black Friday shopping. And typically Clionadh does something around that time. So I might pick up 6 of those, like a handful of those to add to my collection. But if you aren't new here, or if you are new here, I did buy a lot of the stained glass collection. I own a lot of it at this juncture. But this is a huge but. It's like I don't use them often enough to have as many as I do, and I think it's because I'm overwhelmed because I have so many of them. That is the thing that is happening. Is like I really think they're beautiful and I really love having them and they perform really well and they're really, really great. But I overdid it. So I suggest to you, if you are interested in Clionadh, really try to suss out a handful of shades that you want. Don't buy all of them. You don't need all of them because the fact of the matter is, you don't like all colors. So then you don't need them. I don't like to wear all colors on my eye. I like greens. I like green, yellows, mustard, grungy tones. That's like really what I prefer to wear. And so I have some of these shades that are like really, really bright and I didn't need them. But I'm not mad at Clionadh releasing more shades. Out of my personal safety, I have not invested too much time into looking into them. But to whoever tagged me, thank you for tagging me, because I think that it is important for me to know about those shades that you did tag me in. But I think it was important for me and my well-being and the well-being of my wallet to not have looked at them for more than a second. Do you know what I'm saying? I just couldn't do that. Not a bad investment of your money. This already has released, this already came out. So I'm imagining that a lot of the shades are already sold out, but take a look at them, gird your loins, get your wallet ready, prepare, save up for the next few months if you are interested in Clionadh, and then buy some when they do their holiday sale. And I say the discount's not that much. It's 5% on the stained glass, depending on which formula you are particularly buying. So that's my advice to you in order to best buy them, because no matter what, for the most part with Clionadh, it's a matter of knowing the timing of things. So you have to be following them, be on their email lists. That's the way to do it. The human being who made me aware that this was a thing that was coming. So I accidentally attributed to who let me know about this incorrectly. So Pia tagged me in this on Instagram. So there's I probably will be bleeping out another name, and that's why, because I was just attributing it wrong. But Pia, thank you for tagging me in this post. Gucci is releasing a second palette. Gucci, of the Gucci palette Beauté de You fame, or other fame. Gucci is a fashion house, but in this house, it's the Gucci palette Beauté de You fame. The outer packaging is stunning, just like it was the first time. Hold on, it's right here. I'm fairly certain mine's sitting right here. It is stunning. It's a stunning piece of makeup. A lot of people who I showed this too. We're like, is the color story really that different? And it is. It's like vibrant and punchier than this one. I wouldn't call this like a particularly grungy palette. It's neutral with like this pop of white and this pop of Robin's Egg blue. So this one has like more color to it, leaning more one way. So while it has like a lot of the same, I would say, I guess, hues, right? It does look pretty familiar. It's not as red. There's like, it definitely is like more cool leaning with these like this teal, with this purple, with this like ice shade. It's really pretty, but it does look like perhaps some of the mattes would be some overlap. I don't know if they are actually overlap. It's really pretty. However, here's why I probably likely won't buy it. One, I could see myself if I could buy the refill of that center thing, I could see myself just using the one compact I have and then switching out the color stories. I don't know if they're doing that because it's a thing you can do. You can pop out the tray that the eyeshadows are in, but I don't know if anything ever came of like buying refills is a thing that you can do with them. If I buy the second really beautiful palette, then I have, it kind of ruins the specialness of me having the one Gucci palette. So for me personally, it doesn't make sense to invest money in this. If I received it as a gift, I wouldn't be mad. But that is like a hefty price tag for a gift. It's not cheap. But what I will say is this. If you are someone with a smaller makeup collection, but want something that feels really beautiful and performs really, really well. I actually really like the quality of the eyeshadows in the Gucci palette. It's not just like, it's actually not just looks. I really like the shadows and the quality of the shadows inside of the Gucci palette. I don't know if that one's still available. I swear to God it was not that long ago because I just linked it in something, so it might still be available. But like if you really like one of these colorways, like one of these color stories, it is a nice treat. It will look really pretty on your vanity. But if you're someone who has a really large makeup collection and you know that this will get set to the side, then you don't need it. Well, no one needs it, but like there is a customer for it, and the customer that I think would get the most value out of it is a person who like doesn't have a super large makeup collection. There's a time and a place for this, but it's not in my makeup collection. I already have my really beautiful Gucci palette. But if this is your really beautiful Gucci palette, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. If you want it and you end up buying it, I wouldn't judge you because I bought the first one. It's like I really want to be able to shit on it, and I do think the color stories are like pretty close, but like I guess like I already bought mine, and unlike with what happened with me and Pat McGrath, I know better now, so I don't begrudge Gucci for releasing this. But also I think these are all supposed to be limited edition, so if you missed the first one, perhaps this is like your only chance to get, I don't know. I really don't know how this, I don't know how the Gucci eyeshadow palette is so new. Like these eyeshadow palettes are so new to what they're doing. It's like hard to really suss out like what tradition's going to look like for as like how long they stay on the market. Are they actually limited edition? Do they actually go away? When they go away, do they never come back? I don't know all of that information yet. Won't be buying it myself. If you want to buy a present for me, for something, I wouldn't be mad. I think that I just missed this release whenever I did my last Critical Sass. The Haus Labs foundation. Do people have this yet? Has this come out yet? So it's going to be $45 and it's going to come in 50 shades. And it looks like the REM concealer. It does look like they have like a white mixing shade. I don't know if there's the equal but opposite black. Like completely black. No, but there is like a white mixer. I don't know if there's more information than this at this juncture. Trendmoon just kind of like posted it. Someone got to something finally exciting in the beauty community. I don't know if I agree about this. Haus Labs is not something that I'm interested in, but I am curious because Haus Labs is boasting itself as a clean beauty brand. I don't know what kind of preservatives are going to be in this. So I do have some concerns about the longevity of, if you are someone who buys one foundation and then uses it over the course of 3 months, then that's not a problem for you. But talking from my own experience and what I think is like many of my subscribers and viewers experience, you have multiple foundations that you're cycling through. So you're never like using one all the way up that quickly. So because this is supposed to be like a clean formula, I'm wondering like the longevity once you open it, how long it will last. But first, the bottle is gorgeous. I do think the design of the packaging is really sleek, really pretty. 50 shades. We're into that. We're doing great. Not a bad release. I just don't think I need to like try Haus Labs. That's where I'm at with it, but I can understand why people would be excited about this. It does seem to, having seen some reviews of the OG stuff that released from Haus Labs, it seems to be well received overall, much better than the first time Haus Labs launched. All signs pointing positive in that aspect. I'll be interested to see reviews of this, but I don't think I'm going to be someone who's reviewing it. I'm not going to show this, but there's a collaboration that happened with Applebee's with a brand, and let it be known that I will probably never buy anything from that brand again, because I think that was cheap and a sellout, and no one really wants this, and it just feels like something that's going to fill up landfills, and why are we even doing it? I have cycled back on Trend Mood. I'm going to go to Makeup Release Radar to see if they have anything that I would like to discuss. Oh yeah, I did want to talk about this. I don't know if any of you who are subscribed to me, or I'm sure you have, but if you haven't, I really enjoy watching Kelly Gooch. Kelly is kind of like the polar opposite creator from me, and talks a lot about drugstore and only explicitly tries and discusses cruelty-free beauty. She has done a 3-brush collection and a eyeshadow palette with Sigma. But what I really love that she did is that the eyeshadow palette is only 7 shades. It's not like some big hulking palette. The shades in there really speak to what I know of what Kelly's like interested in putting on her eyes. I think this is really smart, because if Kelly would have done like let's say like a 14 pan palette with like neutral shades, it would make any sense to me. It's really edited. I really like it. I think she did a great job. It's not something that I would buy, but I love to see it. I love also, it just like is a collection that makes so much sense. It's like very Kelly, and I just really appreciate that. So congratulations, Kelly, to your collaboration. I think that's everything that I want to discuss. As a reminder, I will be doing Critical Sass live on the last Wednesday of the month, which is August 31st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you're following me on Instagram for any updates on that. My Instagram is not really like influencer-y feeling. It's mostly just me in the dark sharing thoughts on my Instagram stories, and then also some pictures of looks. So those are the 2 things that you can expect to see on my Instagram if you want to follow me there. Make sure you vote for me for Best of Pittsburgh, and thank you to anyone who's already voted for me. Please like this video. If you're new here, subscribe if you aren't already subscribed. And I'm also on Patreon again, as a reminder, if you would like to support me there. Remember to follow your hote, and you will find me. I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. The red.